Greetings and welcome back. In the last episode, I did a little rant on how Arch continues to break on me every once in a while. And I also did a quick intro of this distribution here, which is called Archcraft. And if I go to the home page here, it gives a little description about it. So it's basically a lightweight version of Arch Linux. And so if I go here to the download section, this is what I downloaded, and this edition comes with OpenBox and BSPWM out of the box, but you do have some other flavors. So here they do have an XFCE edition as well as an LXDE edition. And one more, if I click on the premium tab here. So this is a way to help fund the project. If you really like to support them, you can download this version, which is Archcraft Prime, and the proceeds will go and help the developers continue their work. Also, I'd like to note that my edition as well as this edition here that is showing is the October release. They have quarterly releases, so the next one is in January. But that doesn't really matter since it's based on Arch. You download whatever latest release you have, you do a sudo pacman-syu, and your system will be fully updated. And that's pretty much what I did. So if I go to my history, my Archcraft history, the first thing I did was I did an update. And if you are running Arch and your system does not have snapshot support out of the box, I do recommend this, but there's a caveat. To have this working, you do have to install your Arch distribution, using the Btrfs file system. So I didn't go through the install process, but I did use the Btrfs file system, and this is the second thing I installed. It came with Yay out of the box. For those who don't know what Yay is, it's a package manager like Pacman, but this one deals with packages from the Arch user repository. So to run Yay, it's basically very similar to Pacman. So this is your command to install, and then these are your applications. So there's Snapper support and Btrfs assistant. And what these will do is these will give you a menu option in your grub menu to have a bunch of snapshots every time the system updates. And if for some reason the system crashed during an update, you can use that grub menu to revert back to a previous session where it was working properly. One more thing I would note, if you see here in the dock, they have two terminals. This was the XFCE terminal, and this is the Alacrity terminal. They also have a terminal called xterm, and I deleted it. So sudo pacman-r xterm, and I just created a symlink. And I'll just show you basically a brief overview of what they have going on here. So at the top, you have a bar called polybar. I don't have a lot of experience customizing this polybar. That's one of the reasons why I kind of chose this distro. I just wanted to try something new. But the way they got it set up here looks pretty nice. One thing I would note, I found a little glitch, is this shutdown icon here. So if I go here, and all these ones work except for this one here. So if I go here with the mouse, I'll demonstrate now, and I click on it, it just disappears. And I'm pretty sure that's not the intended feature. It's supposed to shut down. But if I actually navigate with my keyboard, and if I were to hit enter, it would work and shut down the computer. So it works with the keyboard. It doesn't work for the mouse for some reason. But if I do a right click here, you have the open box menu system. And there's a way to shut down, log out, and your other features here as well. And this one definitely works. So unlike XFCE, it doesn't have a separate wallpaper for each desktop. I'm not sure if there's an option to change that. Actually, I'm going to test that out. So if I do a right click, accessories, I go to nitrogen here. This is the default wallpaper setter. I'm gonna choose this one, hit apply. And if I go to these other ones, yeah, it's all one wallpaper for all your different desktops. So it's not quite as versatile as the XFCE window manager switcher, or desktop switcher I should say. But you know, it's nice looking. I really like the look and feel of this polybar here. It's different for me anyways. So down here you have the plank dock. For me, I would change it up a bit. First of all, there's two terminals. I should note here, I got NeoFetch running on this one. This is the XFCE terminal, and so you notice it's using the latest 6.61 kernel. OpenBox is the current window manager. These are your themes here. So I'll edit that. If I type NVIDIA in this Rofi launcher here, you notice here they got NVIDIA X server settings pre-installed, and it's using the latest 545.29.02 driver out of the box. So that's excellent. I didn't have to do anything. It installed for me automatically, and the installation was very fast as well. But I guess that's expected since this is a minimal distribution and there's not a whole lot of apps pre-installed out of the box. Although what they do have are good default applications in my opinion, and I'll go through that in a bit. But first thing I want to do is I want to hover over the plank dock with my mouse. I'm going to hold on to the control key. I'm going to click on it, right click on it I should say, and then you have this preferences option. So here you can change your themes. There's only 3 different themes. You got this one here, Mate theme, and your default, 4 different themes I guess. Your default theme and the transparent theme, which I prefer. Now here you also have options to change it into different areas of your screen, so you can put it on the left, right, top, or bottom. For example, just show the left there, and you guys can pretty much understand the rest. This looks pretty nice, this layout here, but I think for this one I'll just keep it on the bottom for now. Here you can also change the icon size. For example, if you want it really big, 64, there you go. For me, I'm gonna choose 40, hit enter, and that's a pretty good size for me. Here you can also change the zoom size, so when you hover over the icon it gets bigger, but what they got as the default is good for my tastes, so I'll leave it at that. You have here for behavior IntelliHide, so that's the default. You can also have it auto hide automatically, so there you go, it disappears automatically, and you can turn it off so it won't hide at all. But for me, I'll keep it as the default IntelliHide, so when there's a window that's maximized, for example like this, it'll hide itself. When there's no window, it'll appear again. So that's the way I like it. For docklets, so this one will work depending on your icon theme. So if you have the proper icon themes for this, it should work. So if I were to drag this into the dock here, now I have a trash icon, and I'm going to leave that here. And I'm going to go through what they got here quickly. So Alacrity, which is a terminal, there's 2 terminals here, XFCE terminal. I'm going to get rid of that by dragging it out. Firefox is your web browser, of course, through our file manager. Genie, your graphical text editor. You have your settings manager. This is part of the XFCE suite. And yeah, that's all you got there. What else do I want to do? If I go here and I go to appearance, you can see they got a bunch of themes to choose from, GTK themes. For me, I do like the original that they got, so I'm going to keep that. And here, I'll go to my file manager so you can see better. So these are all your different icon themes pre-installed. If you look here and down here, you'll notice if I click on a different theme, the icons change on both of them. And they got a lot to choose from. Me, although I prefer Linux over Windows, I do like this theme here. This got a lot of color to it. I like that. So I'm gonna choose that. And you do have some other settings here, but I'm not gonna go through that. And one more thing I would like to do, if I do a right click here, it opens up the open box menu, but these fonts are a little small for me. So to fix that, what you would do is you would go to the terminal, you would type obconf, and I'll enlarge that for, oops, enlarge that, hopefully you can see that, obconf, press enter, and this takes you to the open box configuration manager. So here you have your different window decorations. You notice when I click on them, they change right away. You got a lot to choose from here, but once again, I do like the default, so I'm going to keep it as that. But if I go to this part here, appearance, what I want to do is I want to change the menu item font size. So for me, I'm going to choose 15, hit select, close, and you notice if I right click here, the menu item fonts got a lot bigger, and that's much better for me anyways. My eyes are getting old and those fonts are a little bit small. But since I'm here, I'll quickly go through the pre-installed applications. Not all of them, but just the main ones. So down here you got some that I already went through. You got your Alacrity terminal. Firefox is your default browser. File manager is Thunar. And Genie is your text editor, your graphical text editor. But there are a few more things. You have Nitrogen here, which changes your wallpaper. I already went through that, but yeah, why do they have this here? Okay, anyways, we'll get out of that. And you do have pcom, which is your compositor, which handles transparencies, among other things. Vim, your text editor from the terminal. Xarchiver for dealing with compressed files such as zip and other formats. Xcolor. So I haven't used this before, but this is, I guess, a magnifying tool. I don't know if there's ways to change the zoom size of this. It's kind of a neat tool, but I'm not familiar with it. Hopefully there's a way to change the zoom size, because this magnification is a little too big for it to be useful for myself. But you know, that's a little neat tool to have there. What else do they have? Let's see. For graphics, you got View Noir. So that is your picture viewer. Multimedia, not a whole lot. They do have Simple Screen Recorder pre-installed, so that's your graphical screen recorder here. And that's one of the screen recorders I use quite often, actually, more recently, just because I'm lazy recently to install GPU screen recorder, which is actually better. But I go through so many distro reviews that it's just faster to install Simple Screen Recorder. But yes, like I said, that's installed out of the box, as well as this menu entry to record the screen, and that's what I've been using in this video. So I found it works very well. I'm not sure what it's using. I'm guessing FFmpeg, but that's a pretty neat thing they got here with OpenBox in the OpenBox menu, and they did the same thing with the screenshot also. So I'll just do a quick test on this. So we'll do screenshot now, and there you go. It's got a screenshot of my desktop. If I close it, it says it's saved, and if I go to my pictures folder under screenshots, you see this is the one that it's saved here. And actually I'll open it with View Noir, so that's your image viewer. Right click for full screen. So that's how that works there. I thought that's pretty neat, having those options right in the OpenBox menu without a need of any graphical interface. And I actually like this better than Simple Screen Recorder, because it's just a one-click option, and to stop it I just hit this one, so it's actually faster. So I really like that actually. And the settings, the default settings it has as far as resolution and whatnot is perfect for me. It detected my sound card, or not my sound card, my microphone perfectly, so that's fantastic. Really neat feature there. But I digress. Going back to the other applications they have, Pulse Audio Volume Control, which is the default for many Linux distros nowadays. And let's see, Office, they don't have any Office suite out of the box. They do have this Trill document viewer, which is a PDF viewer. And let's see what else they have. Rofi theme selector. So Rofi is this thing here. So that's what you use to search for applications, and I guess you can choose a bunch of themes that comes pre-installed. So there's a whole bunch of themes here. So let me just try one and see. There you go. We'll try another one. Why didn't that work? Accessories, other Rofi themes. Maybe I'll have to do it with my keyboard. Maybe that's better. Yeah. Okay, interesting. So if I click here, it didn't set it to default, so I'll have to play with that some more later, but there are themes there. It's probably me being a noob at this. I don't have a lot of experience with Rofi and Polybar and all those things, anything from the suckless style applications, but that's one of the reasons why I chose this distribution. I just wanted to get out of my comfort zone a little bit. Like, I've been using XFCE a lot, so I just wanted to try something new. See what else they got here for applications. You got your usual settings. Tint 2. So along with the Polybar, they do have Tint 2. And for those who don't know, this is another panel. So a lot of people who use OpenBox, they like to use Tint 2 as the panel. So if I type Tint 2 in the terminal, this is what it looks like right now. And there's a bunch of themes. Not sure, I haven't played with this in a long time. Tint 2, many years actually. So there is a way to set this, make default. Yes, so there you go. That's how you do that. Since I'm running in a terminal though, if I exit the terminal, it will exit the Tint 2 panel. If anyone wants to actually keep that running, you would have to go to .config, navigate to the OpenBox folder, and edit this auto start file. So this is your auto start, basically script file. So there's no GUI for it. You have to do everything in this configuration file here for your things to launch at startup. Right now, you notice it's launching the Power Manager. It's launching PyCom, the compositor launch bar. So that's the Polybar launch bar. You can change this to Tint 2. So for this, you would just remove this, so rem it out, and you would just type Tint 2, and then that would launch your Tint 2 panel. But that was just a demonstration. I'm just going to keep it as the default. We'll quit it and we won't save it. So that's all you got as far as applications, most of it anyways. I'm not going to go through every single one. There's no graphical music player or video player, but they do have mPlayer, which is a backend. There's no graphical interface, but for example, if I navigate through my home folder and I go to videos, you notice I have some screen recordings, so I'll just right click and open with mPlayer, and you notice here. So this is so this is a failed video, one where I stuttered too much, and I'm going to delete that anyways. So we'll delete that now. So that's just a demonstration. You could also double click to launch it, and to close you would hold Alt plus the F4 key. Also, same thing for music. If you notice here, there's a play button here. So they got some pre-installed songs, and those songs are in the music folder. So if I hit play here, it'll play the song on and on. Hopefully you can hear it. It's running through a small speaker I have. Actually, I guess I have to turn it on first. There you go. And then you have some next and you have a previous button. So you don't have a whole lot of navigations. You can't fast forward through the song and whatnot. But you know, that's a little neat thing to have in the panel itself. And to stop it, I would just hit this button here. Also, there's a way to play it with mPlayer by just double clicking. But the problem is, how do I close it? There's no graphical interface, right? So for those who don't know, you would have to do kill all mPlayer. Now that'll get you working, your music or your videos working in a pinch, but definitely I would add a graphical interface for my music player at the least. As for the video player, I'm quite comfortable with just mPlayer as the standalone app. It's fine for me. It's very easy to navigate. I'll just demonstrate again. Double click. You hit F for full screen, and then you use your cursor keys. I'll turn off the volume. You use your cursor keys to fast forward. So I'm just doing the right arrow there and the left arrow to go back. And to pause, hit space. And to resume, hit space again. And to close, just hold Alt and F4. So for me, I'm very comfortable with the mPlayer backend. I don't need a graphical interface. It's actually faster for me, so that's great for that. But for audio, I definitely would choose a graphical audio player. But you can play audio files in a pinch with mPlayer. But enough rambling. So pretty much that's my review of Archcraft Linux. There's a few bugs. Like I said earlier, this button here, or maybe I didn't, I'm not sure. I said it in a previous video which I deleted, but this button here, if I click on it with my mouse, it will not work, it just disappears. But if I navigate with my keyboard and press enter, it will shut down. And as well, if I go here, there's another option to shut down, and then this one works properly with the mouse. So I just wanted to note that. And one other glitch I did find, and it's a big glitch in my opinion. I have a screenshot of it somewhere. Hopefully I still have it. Pictures, screenshots. So yes, right here. You can see here, this is what it was showing on startup, and this is the welcome screen. Now I went through all these tabs on the welcome screen, and I got nothing but a blank screen. And that definitely needs to be fixed. And my thinking is probably the font is the same shade as the background, so it seems to show nothing, but there's probably something there, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so that is a big glitch on the welcome screen, and for me, that's not a deal breaker. I don't really need welcome screens, but if you're gonna have a welcome screen, you should make sure it works. And welcome screens are helpful for new users. For me, that's not a deal breaker. You know, I have Spiral Linux still installed as one of my operating systems, and it did not come up with a welcome screen, and I'm fine with that. But for new users, definitely welcome screens are helpful, and that should be fixed. But overall, it's a pretty solid distribution. I like it, and I like the speediness of OpenBox and the lightweightness of OpenBox as well. I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier, if I click or if I type htop now, it shows it's using a lot of RAM, 2 gigs, but that's because a screen recorder tool is running in the background. But without any applications running in the background, it's running roughly 500 megs. So that's pretty lightweight for a modern distro these days. Overall, I'm liking this distro very much. I'll probably spend some more time customizing it. I do have a script here. Where is it actually? You know what? I'll go to my file manager. You know what? Even though this video has been dragging on a little bit, I want to do one more thing. if you watch one of my previous videos, I installed Lightpad, which is an application launcher that looks similar to the GNOME launcher. And this is the script. I have it for it here. So I'm gonna run this script and install Lightpad. I'm gonna run this script right now. So if I do an ls, the one in green is my script, so I'm gonna run it. We'll type that and press enter. Enter my password. And this is a very fast, small application, so it won't take very long at all. So it's going to download the application and install the dependencies and compile it all in one shot. You do have to press Y a few times for the script to work. So now it's compiling and it's done. So, okay, I cannot create a symbolic, okay, file exists. So, okay, so anyways, type, it's usually this command to run Lightpad, but I made a symbolic link prior, and so that's why there's an error for it here. But basically there is a symbolic link named Lightpad, and if this works properly and I type Lightpad, it should run. However, actually let me clear it first. If I type Lightpad, okay, everything works. That's excellent. Now there's a caveat here. There's a hurdle that I went through before, so it didn't work out of the box for me. I installed this multiple times. The first time it didn't work because there was no file. It was a missing file, so I'll just duplicate the error message. So I'll do sudo thunar /etc/xdg/menus. So here, originally, this distribution didn't have this file here. So I'll delete it. And if I were to run Lightpad, actually, how am I going to run Lightpad now? Applications, accessories, okay. So we'll run Lightpad here, Lightpad. And you can see here, it gives an error message. So that was actually what happened for me the first time I installed the script onto this distribution. So it's basically missing this file here. So basically to fix that, you would just do the sudo thunar /xdg/applications, or no, /xdg, that's a tongue twister, /menus. So after you navigate to this folder here, there's two files that you can alter. You can choose this one or this one. I chose this one, so I just do a copy, I do a paste, F2 to rename, and I rename it as the missing file. So applications menu was the missing file, and there you go. And then now Lightpad will work. We'll clear it again. We'll try it again. You already saw that it worked, but just for demonstration, there you go. Lightpad works. So that's that. And one more thing that I want to do. So I want to get the Lightpad in this dock here. And without a proper menu system or a more robust menu system such as XFCE or KDE, I cannot just drag stuff. For example, I cannot drag this document viewer into here. In XFCE, the whisker menu at least, I can do that. And pretty sure KDE as well. So there's a hack that, not a really hack, a trick that I've learned to get the Lightpad or any desktop that you want to get into this dock here. So what you want to do is you navigate to your home folder, you go to show hidden files, which is Control H, or you can actually go here also. There's an option here, but that's the shortcut. So Control H to show hidden files, .config, go to plank for the plank dock settings, keep navigating, and then finally you'll end up with this thing here. Now, what is this thing here? So each dock item except for the ones I named back. These are backup files. Each doc item is associated with one of these icons here. So if you notice, for example, I'll get rid of Genie. All right, actually I should close Genie first. Okay, so I'll get rid of Genie by just dragging it out. And you'll notice there's a Genie doc item here. So if I get rid of Genie here by dragging it out, poof, the doc item is gone. If I get rid of Firefox, poof, no Firefox doc item. To get them back, you would just run it. So accessories, development, Genie. Okay, there's an icon there. I would do a right click and I would do the check mark here to keep it in the dock. So now I close Genie, it's back in the dock. So that's how you get your stuff back, as well as the browser, web browser. I launch Firefox, it's running in the dock, and then I right click and I keep it in the dock. So once it closes, the icon remains in the dock. And since I'm here, I'm just gonna just move those around. Okay, so that's how that works. So if I go further, let's see, I right click here, I go open with Genie. So this is how it works. So this doc item is basically a pointer to a desktop file. So this thing here points to this desktop file here. So if I go to my file manager again and I do sudo thunar / this folder here, user share applications. Okay, enter my password since we're running it in root. And so these are all your desktop files, and these desktop files basically are what is shown in the menus typically. So here is what I want. So this is the one for the Lightpad. So I actually I don't want to copy this. I want to hit F2 and then I want to highlight all this and I want to copy the name of this. So I'm going to copy this and we'll go to my thunar desktop file or doc item and we're just going to paste this here, Control V. So instead of going to the thunar desktop file, it's going to go to the Lightpad desktop file. And lastly, I want to save it as something else. So save it as Lightpad .doc item. So I'm going to hit save, and hopefully if everything works. It did not work. Why did it not work? Oh, it did work, kind of. So it's right here. So the icon is not showing. What happens if I click it? Okay, if I click it, it launches a Genie, and that's not what I want. So it is a bit glitchy, and it happened to me before, so once again, I'm going to show you how to fix that. So we'll close that, we'll open a new terminal, and what you want to do is you want to do a kill all plank. Okay, and then you can run plank here from here if you want, and there you go, there's your Lightpad. And can I move it? Nope, it doesn't move. So I'm going to do a Control C to exit, and then we're going to run plank again. Let's see if it, hopefully, okay, there you go. So it's a little bit glitchy, right? But now I got my Lightpad icon here. Let's click it to see if it works. There, everything works. Perfect. So it's working fine, but once I quit this terminal here, it disappears. So I want to go to Applications, Accessories, going to click on Plank to get it back. So now, yes, it's a little glitchy to set up at first, but after you set it up, everything works fine. So that's how I did that. And I showed you in a previous short video how to get the background into a Lightpad. So I'm not going to go through it in this video, but with the magic of video editing. And there you go, I have a nice Lightpad background for my menu, which actually I think is better than the GNOME menu, since GNOME, as far as I know, doesn't have an option to have a background. I think I've been rambling on a little too much, so I'm going to conclude this video for today. What do I think of Archcraft? I think it's very nice, very lightweight. It's a very strong contender to be my next default daily driver rolling release distro. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and thumbs up. But until next time, guys, take care, and I hope you have a great day.